Here's the 20 changes I would make if I were in charge of AFL Guernseys. We'll start off with some league-wide rules or guidelines. First, every team must have a white or near white Guernsey in their kit bag. I know this isn't a popular opinion and some teams may never use their white jumper, but having this as a league-wide rule means there's a simple way to avoid 90% of clashes. Second, avoiding clash comes before tradition. I don't care if the big four Victorian teams want to wear their traditional jumpers against each other. If it creates a clash, such as Carlton wearing navy blue against Collingwood, then they'll be wearing their clash jumper. Third, let's get rid of the white shorts for the away team policy. Teams can still wear white shorts when it makes sense, but if a team can wear coloured shorts with their away jumper and still avoid a clash, then I'm all for it. Fourth, I'd like to minimise the number of similar jumper designs where possible. For example, I don't want 3 teams wearing the same vertical stripe design. Next, we'll go through all 18 teams and I'll make some changes for all but one side, some of which I'm sure will piss off some fans. For Adelaide, their home and away jumpers remain the same and their gather round Guernsey will double as a clash, while the crow design continues onto their white jumper. A similar situation for Brisbane, the home, away and clash remain the same, while their white jumper will come in handy for matchups against the Giants. For Carlton, their home jumper remains the same, while the sky blue returns as their away jumper. The clash is a slightly reworked version of their current clash design. Under the new guideline of avoiding clash regardless of tradition, the Blues will now wear sky blue in away games against Collingwood. Up next is Collingwood and the first of the big changes. The swooping magpie becomes the new home jumper because it's frankly just a better design, an alternate version with less white to lessen the clash between the Pies and Geelong, and then a white version as a full clash, which here has grey stripes but could also have black stripes. For Essendon, their home and clash jumpers remain the same and the grey clash jumper returns as their near white Guernsey. I know most fans don't like the grey jumper, but they are one of the teams that actually does need a white, or in this case, grey Guernsey. Next up is the Bulldogs, and I'm changing their name back to Footscray as the Western Bulldogs name really doesn't make much sense in a national league. Their home and clash jumpers go back to the Robo-Dog as it's easily their best design. For Freo, I've gone back to the Anchor, or a slightly reworked version of the Anchor. Purple and white for the home and clash, and the old red and green jumper returns as their Western Derby Guernsey. Geelong's home jumper remains the same, while my Panther design becomes their new clash, as it has a little less white than their current clash. For Gold Coast, I've gone with my GC redesign, red for the home, sky blue for the clash, and then a white jumper, which they probably won't need, but again, it's better to have it ready to go if needed. For the Giants, I've gone back to the Big G design, which is a million times better than their current redesign. The Big G design continues across their orange away, black never surrender, and their white clash jumper. For the Hawks, I've gone back to their old pre-season Hawks head design, which again looks a lot better than vertical stripes. The brown Guernsey becomes the home, gold for the away, and a white version for the clash. Onto the Ds, and no change to their home jumper. The Flaming Demon becomes their new away Guernsey. A red version is the new clash, and that design continues onto the white jumper. For North, the classic Bounding Roo becomes their home jumper, and a similar outline design for their clash. For Port, the old Lightning Bolt away jumper becomes their new home Guernsey, a white version for the clash, and the Prison Bar jumper for showdowns. Onto Richmond, and another big change, an entirely new design based on their 90s pre-season jumper, a yellow version for the clash, and a white jumper which is again needed for games against GWS. Like I said before, I want to eliminate duplicate designs, so I don't want 2 teams wearing the sash. And since Essendon technically it seems came first, I'll let them wear the sash. Also because Richmond have better designs like this one. The Saints jumpers are now all based around the cross design, a new black version for the home, the classic red for the away, and white for the clash. The only team with 0 changes is the Swans, the Opera House home jumper, and the South Melbourne kit as the clash. No change for the Eagles home and clash versions of the wings. They probably don't need a white jumper, but you can make a white version of the wings look okay. But I'd rather them wear their old 2010s white clash, even if it does use the old Eagles head. Let me know which of these changes you'd agree with in the comments below.